Now, look who just rocked in, Rockstar. Hi, Carlos Camacho, psychologist and Rockstar.
Thank you, Deborah. It's always, I just come here for the introductions.
Well, that's who you are and you're worth it, you know.
Oh, thank you.
Great to see you.
Great to see you too. It's been a little while.
Yeah, you've been away working or something, haven't you?
I've been interstate. I've been on conferences.
Wow.
There's a time that I leave aside just to give talks and that, and I love doing that. I love being on stage.
Yeah, we can tell. And you're good at it.
Well, I enjoy it, so I think that's a good start. And, yeah, once they give me that microphone, they can't get it off me.
Well, you've got plenty of wise words to say, that's for sure.
I try to keep it practical in these things, and, you know.
Yeah.
And but you'll be surprised because I do it quite interactive, and a lot of people have wise words, you know. Everyone has their own personal wisdom to share, and you get always something from someone, you know.
You do. You never stop learning till the day you die, do you?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Well, there's a topic that I think, you know, is a good one to talk about. It's not a good thing, but it's a topic that a lot of people actually experience throughout their lives. You know, when fear can be so debilitating, whether it's about your health or it's about something that they're scared of doing, like which causes anxiety and panic attacks and things like that. Because fear can be very debilitating, can't it, Carlos?
Well, it can, Deb, and I'm glad that you said it like that it can cause anxiety and panic attacks, because that's exactly what happens. Anxiety is based on fear.
Okay.
Basically. Yeah. So it's a reaction to the world. Anxiety is almost like the effect of fear. It's a symptom. Like, it's just like pain is a symptom. Is the effect of something wrong.
Yeah.
And so we all have fear. All animals have fear, because it allows us to be more conservative in the world and make better judgments and hopefully make us live longer. That's what it does. But there's debilitating fear, like you rightly said.
Can be imagined as well, an imagined fear, can't
Exactly. There's two types of fears. Fear in the world, or if you like, real fear, if you like to say it. But the word real isn't a very good, it's a very complex term. But we won't get into that. I mean, just to say that it's an outside fear that exists for you and for everyone else, right?
Yeah.
And then there is that internal fear. And it's incredible how we keep propagating it, and it's incredible how we keep propagating it and making it bigger and bigger, like a snowball.
Why do we?
That's a very good question.
We doubt ourselves when we shouldn't as well, and that can create that as well, can't it?
That's right. With fear, the opposite of fear is certainty, basically. So if you create enough certainty in your life, you're going to conquer your fears.
That's right.
That's why planning your day, having a good structure, routine is great, because you're almost telling the brain what's going to happen in the future.
So there's no room for error.
No room for error, and you don't worry, you got nothing to fear, brain. I've got this.
Because the brain's so smart, isn't it?
That's exactly right. And you've got to give the brain the orders you want, because it is a bit like a computer. It's what you type in through your keyboard, and our keyboard is language, the things we say to ourselves.
So if we're specific with what we're saying, we're not leaving any room for maybe the brain to think, oh, but what if this?
That's right. And your brain is always going to give you what if this. Always. It's going to start with that. You're standing at the edge of a cliff, you know, and you want to jump into the lake, and because you've seen other people do it, and you say, that sounds like fun. As soon as you get to the edge, your brain's saying, don't jump, because you're going to break your leg. There might be a rock down there. You might drown. You might do this. And so it gives you all the worst scenarios until you actually decide, no, you know what? I'm going to take that step. You do it. You conquer the fear, and then guess what? As soon as your head pops up out of the water, you say, I'm going to do this again.
And then you don't have that fear again usually, do you?
You've convinced the brain that there's nothing to fear, and so you've got to do it sometimes. Now, some things you shouldn't do. Sometimes the brain's right. Yeah, that's not good.
No.
And maybe go, you know what, brain, you're right.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'll go with you with this one. And it's all a matter of, it's really the law of probability. You've got to use the law of what will happen if I do this. For example, I talk to a lot of young men about talking to women. They have a fear of women. There's nothing more intimidating than a beautiful young woman for a lot of people. And And so it affects their life because they can't meet someone, and it's their confidence is down. And so really you present yourself with the worst scenario, which is sorry, not interested, pretty much most of the time.
And that's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
And get on with that.
Guess what? You gave it a go. Now, what's the law of probability? If you keep doing that and you learn from your mistakes, sometimes you're standing too close, you're standing too far, or you're and so you start getting the hints, and guess what? Eventually someone's gonna say, you know what, okay, let's do this. Let's go out for a coffee or whatever it may be. But you've got to take that initial step, present yourself with the worst scenario, and then decide, okay, am I going to do this? Once you decide that the worst scenario isn't significant, you take a deep breath and you tell your brain, we're doing this. I'm doing this with or without you.
The brain, okay.
And that's what motivation is. You convincing the brain or telling the brain, I'm doing this. I don't care. Like, I'm supposed to do exercise. I'm tired. It's raining.
All the excuses the brain will give you.
Guess what, brain? I'm doing this anyway. I'm putting my joggers on. I'm going out for a run. I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if I'm tired. And that's basically what it is, that internal dialogue.
And it is. It goes right back to, it's protecting us.
Yeah.
Right back to the Stone Age days and prehistoric times. Dinosaurs.
Well, that's right. All animals in the world have a sense of fear, all of them, and especially mammals, which are higher up in the chain of in intellect, at least. And so, and for us, we're the highest of all mammals. We have a certain type of brain which also can create more fear.
Yes. Because it's so intelligent, it can think further.
And it makes things
than
up.
Our thoughts.
Imagination, it makes things up.
Yes, it does. It can be good, like for writing books, like your novels that you wrote 7 years ago was a book launch today, you said?
That's right. It's been 7 years to the date that I released my first book.
Goodbye, Charlie.
Yeah, part 1. Yeah, so I thought I'd bring a couple in for some listeners just to... just to celebrate a little bit, celebrate a little milestone for myself.
I love those books.
And funny enough, it took me 7 years to write. So there you go. We have the symmetry there.
Wow. So Goodbye, Charlie, part 1 and part 2.
Well, I bought part 1. Part 2 came out later. So I thought I got a couple here.
Two part 1s.
2 part 1s for whoever wants them after we finish. And conquer your fear, guys.
Yeah.
You've got to... It's important to understand that you're never going to get rid of your fears. We need fear, or else we're going to be too loose.
That's right.
We need fear to keep us guided. But when there's things we've got to try to achieve, and if there's fears that are intervening in our lives, we have to have that internal talk with our brain. Just you and your brain, your mind and your brain, and your mind saying, listen, brain, I know you do a lot of good work, but you're wrong in this. I'm going to ask that person out. I'm going to write that book.
Yes.
I'm going to go for that job interview. I'm going to get on that plane and travel.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, if it's something you really want to do, convince your brain. Once you've taken that first step, it's so much easier.
Be so good, and then you can just do it again and again and again.
You can do it again if you wish, or you can try something new.
Else. Yeah.
You know what? On our deathbed, Deb, none of us are going to regret the things that we've tried. None of us are going to regret the things that we've tried and the adventures we've gone on. And even when we failed, we're still not going to regret that.
No, that's right. Good on you, Carlos. Beautiful words as usual. And you're giving away both your books.
Yeah. Whoever wants them, more than welcome.
Charlie. All right. So the first caller, or the first 2 callers on 43220072 will have Carlos Camacho's Goodbye, Charlie. A great read, I assure you.
Oh, thank you.
You chose a really good song here to take us out of the chat.
Yeah. Oh, I love Tears for Fears. And this song is not my favourite of their songs.
Okay.
And it was done beautifully, recovered by someone else on a piano and slowed down the song Mad World that you're going to put on now. But the reason I love it mostly is because it was in this beautiful movie called Donnie Darko.
Oh.
And it's about fears. Oh. So if you guys want to have Donnie Darko, it's a beautiful film set in the 80s, and that song is played slowed down on a piano, and it's absolutely amazing. I just thought the lyrics work perfect for what we discussed today.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Carlos. We're going to have a chat about simulation next time.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's so much fun.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, are we living in a simulated world? You never know.
All right. Thanks, Carlos. Talk to you next time.
For sure.